In this video, you will learn everything about the strings in Python. So let's start. Remember when you had a number in like this, just let's create a variable and I'll say it's an integer and it was 4. And I want to convert this into a string. We've seen that well, we could just add the quotation mark around the 4 and would become text. But if I want to actually transform this into a string, I can just do this. Like I did int on a string, I can do string str on an integer. And now it is an integer. So that's an easy way to convert into a string. Now let's look at an actual string and create a poem together. Let's say my love for Python is absolute as the moon is blue. That's a poem. You don't need to understand why it says that. So it's not the best one in the world, but it's a good string for us to start to work with. So if I just print poem like this, so if I print poem, I can see it exactly like it was. So we've seen that before. Now, what if I want to go back to the line, to another line in the middle? I would do this. I would do \n. I run it, and now we see where I did the \n, I had a space before and after, so that's why I got a space here because of the space after. I went to the line. Why? Because \n in most languages means go back, go to the next line, start a new line. And it's the same in Python. So what does that mean? Because we should write just \n, right? So if you want to write \n, you need to add one more backslash, and I'll explain you why. But look at this. Now you can see \n, it's not going to the next line. Why? Because backslash is something that escape the next character. So basically it's saying change the value of the next character. So in this specific case, it's saying, okay, this is not going to be a normal n. This is going to be n, that means go to the next line. Now if I put a t, it's tab, and it would be the same. It's doing a tab here. We don't see it very much. I can add several. And it's creating tabs in the middle, and it just means, okay, just add a tab. Don't print t, because I put a backslash. Now, if I want to kill this backslash because I want to explain you that this is how you create a new line, like I want to say print, I want to print, you create a new line with \n. I cannot do that because it creates a new line. But if I escape the backslash, then it becomes a normal character, and I can see this. So it's important just to know that it exists. You probably not use it right now, but you might see it. It's important to know, okay, how do you escape something? I give you an example where you really need it, and it's with the quotation mark. So let's say you want to have quotation mark in a string. So you can use a string like this, right, with single quotation mark or with double quotation mark. But what happens if you got some quotation mark within this quotation mark? For instance, Tina said or says, hello, Bob. So I want to write this, but it won't work, right? It will give me an issue because I'm finishing the text when I put the new quotation mark. Then I just write hello, Bob, without real context, just after a string, and then I start a new text again, so it doesn't work. So what can I do? Well, option 1, the easiest one, I just change one of those pair by the other type of quotation mark, and then it will work. Here I see I have only one. I could have done it the other way one if I wanted to see double, like this. So I create the text with 1, and I can show the one with double quotation mark like this, and it works. Now, it's not ideal, right? You don't want to change all your text. You might not even know when you have some, etc. So what you can do is just, and we'll see how to automate that later on, but you could just say, okay, if you have a quotation mark, then if it's within the text, maybe you want to escape it. Remember, escape means, okay, now it will have a different meaning. And in this case, it means show it as text. So I escape it, And I don't have this issue here, but I need to escape also here. So basically I'm saying this quotation mark will be text, and this quotation mark will be text. Of course, this one is not text. That's how I'm starting my string, my text. And this one is not text either, the last one, because that's the one that I use to finish the string. I run that and it works. Now, how would you have a really big text? You know, like if you want to put a lot of information in this and maybe you wanted to do it in a way that would be easier than writing \n all the time, what you can do is a triple quote like this. See that it's being created automatically. I just created 3 and it added 3 automatically. And here I can add many lines and I can say 1, 2, 3, well 4, 3, hello world, and 2, 3, and 4. And here what we see is this. It's 1, 2, 3, hello world, etc. It's exactly the same format I've been using here, so maybe I can remove some space so it's easier to see everything. And here we sit, right? So there is this space here because it's going to one line. But if I don't want to go to the line, I just put it just after the quotation mark, the triple one. And here we are, 1, 2, 3, hello world 2, and I don't have to put a \n. If you want in your computer, try to put a \n here, and you'll see what it just add one more line. Now that's one way to write big text. If you want to, if you have to, that's one way to just create string like this. Now let's go back to our poem. I'll delete this. And where is our poem? It's here. My love for Python absolute. It was with the tab. We'll delete that too. I just want to see the original poem. Okay, I deleted it. That's fine. I'll just create a new text. And it's gonna be, this is an important text. Cool. So why is it an important text? I'll explain you why. It's because with this text we'll look at what are indexes. So to use index, you need to use the brackets like this. And I put 0 here. That's strange, right? You'll see why. It gives me a t, so we don't have that many t. Well, actually we got a lot of t here, but this is the first t. So the index in many languages start in 0. So what does it mean? I'm asking for the first letter in this string, in this text. And it's called string because it's a string of character. It's one character after another as a string of character. And that's where you can access each of the character with the index. So this one was the first. The second one will be 1 because we're starting with 0. And now it's h. So this one is 0. This one is 1, 2, 3. I can continue like this. We can look at a few. 5. So 5 will be number 6 because we start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's this high. Right? So we could do it with something even more clear, like I say, okay, numbers in text, and here you won't be mistaken at all. Super clear, because why? Because I just say number in text, and I put the bracket like this, 0. 0 is 1. Because it's the first one. Now if I do 6 or 5, 5 will be the 6. Why? Because it's starting to count at 0, right? So 0 is 1, 5 is number 6. So basically that's how you need to count, and that's how you need to know how to use the index. So how is it useful? Well, it's useful if you want to know, for instance, what is the first character of a text? What is the last character of a text? Does it end with a period? Maybe you want to add it, etc. You'll find use case. Then what else can you do? Well, actually you can go backward and you can say, give me the last one. So the last one is t again. So it's not the best example here, but here we can see it. The last one with a number is 9. Because -1 means, okay, go from the end and give me the one that we have here. So if I do -2, it's start by the end and go -2. So this one is -1, A2 is -2. And here's the same for this one. -2 will be an x, and it's the only x here, so we cannot be confused. This is x, -2. So the index can go backward or can go forward. Now, what else can we do here? Well, we can do like this and say, okay, start at, let's say 5, and look at this, and we'll put an 8 here. So when I do that, what happened? Well, it's saying start at 5 and end at 8. I just want the character between 5 and 8. So this is super useful. Sometimes, you know, in finance, for instance, you got ICs, or you got different things you'll look for that have a defined length. And based on other things that you will see, well, once you know where it starts, you can just count how many more you want, and you could have a variable here. This could be a variable. The 5 could be, you know, start, and here we could end. And before we set a Vous variable somehow, and we say, okay, start is 5, and end is 8, and it gives me is with a space, because it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what you see here, we don't have the last one. So basically it's saying stop there, don't take it, stop there, right? So what happened if I do 5, 5? Well, there's nothing. It takes the 5 but end as 5. You cannot do that. So you need to take at least 1 so that you'll have something in it. So you could do exactly the same with negative number, right? We say, okay, negative number 1 is the last letter, the last character from the string. So basically I'm killing the last one, because I say don't take it, start from this one and go backward, and take only starting number 5. So basically I'm ignoring all this, all the this, etc. here, because I'm taking starting 5, which is the I of is. And then I'm going up to text, but I don't take T, because I'm saying -1, you don't take it, right? Don't take -1. So that's how you can use the index to select different pieces of the text. Now we can do exactly the same here, and we'll do it like that. We'll do, okay, let's do -5. So what is -5? -5 is just 5. So, but then I want you to end at 8. So 8 is 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8. 8 is 9, right? Remember, we start with 0. So I'm not taking 9, because here is where you stop, right? The index 8, which it was 9. And -5, well, we go backward 5, which this one is -1, -2, -3 will be 7, -4, -5 is 5. So -5 is 5, we start by taking 5, then everything we want up until the character number 8. So just you know, do the example yourself. You'll say it's a lot of numbers, etc., but actually it's pretty straightforward. The first number is where you start, the second number is where you end. Both of them can be negative or not. So, and negative means you start by the other side. So this is actually useful. Now let's look at this. I say, okay, start at 1, end at -1, so basically take everything except the last one, and the first one, and then I add one more column, and then I say 2. So what does that do? Well, look, it says 2, 4, 6, 8. So what it means here is that I'm saying, okay, do 2 by 2. The last number is if you want to skip some, right? So if I'll show you it, I'll help with example. With 3, now it goes 2, 5, 8. So why? Because I'm saying, okay, start at this, start at 1. So I'm not taking 1, because I'm saying to 1 is 0, right? We start the index with 0. So I'm starting by 2, which is index 1. So I'm taking the first index, it's 2. Then I know I should not take the last one, because I'm stopping at the last one, -1. And then I'm saying take one of those characters every 3 characters. So the first one I'm taking is the 2 here, right? That's the one we have with starting with the index 1. Index 1 is 2. Then I will skip 2, because I'm going to 3 index further. 1, 2, 3. So I'll take 5, because I'm going 3 by 3. And then I'll take 8, because I'm doing 3 by 3, because of this last number after the second column. And then I stop, because anyway there is nothing, you know, we don't have something with 3 more, and I said that I would not continue at -1. So play with that, and we could do exactly the same here, right? I could say, okay, just take one letter every 2 letters, because it could be 0 and 0, right? So same as here, it could be 0 and 0. Let's do it. 0, 0, and take number every 2 numbers. Oops. Because I'm saying, when I put 0 here, I'm saying end at 0, so it's not possible. So I just remove this. I say still at 0. I don't need actually to put a 0 here, because starting at 0 is like starting at the beginning, which is the default. And here what I'm saying is, okay, you don't need to start anywhere, just start at the start. You don't need to end anywhere, just end at the end. But then take them 2 by 2. So I'll take the first one, it's 1. Then I take the next one, no, not the next one, the next one, because I'm going 2 by 2, and it's going to be 3. Right? And then 2 by 2 is going to be 5, and 2 by 2 is going to be 7. If I had said start at the index 1 and go 2 by 2, then it would be 2, 4, etc. Why? Because I ignore the index 0, I start by 2, then I go to 4, then I go to 6, because I'm going 2 by 2. If I do it 3 by 3, and I start at 0, then it's going to be the first one I'm taking, then I need to jump 3, so 1, 2, 3, I got to 4, 1, 2, 3, I got to 7, and then 1, 2, I don't have a 3, I end here, right? So that's how you select text, and the same could be done here. So basically, I'll just delete this, and I just remove the column, so we can see we're taking the letters 2 by 2, and it's the same. It's been taking the letters 2 by 2. Play with it, try to understand it, just do the same and count like I did, and you'll see that it's taking 2 by 2. T, I ignore the H, I take the I, etc. I ignore, then etc. So that's exactly what you will have, and it's pretty useful later on. So just try to understand that. We've seen that we can concatenate text, right? We can just do, okay, number in text plus the text we had, and it says, well, 1, 2, 3, blah, blah, blah. This is an important text, which is what we had at the beginning and what we had in number in text. So we just concatenated the text. We might want to add a space here, and now we can read it. I just added the initial text, and I added a space, and then I added the text. Right, so that's how we can concatenate things. But if we say, for instance, okay, name, I'll use my name, is, let's say, first name is Charles, and last name is Janssen. Remember, we're speaking of strings, so it has to be between quotation mark. I'm doing this, saving both, and now I want to concatenate them. So I will say print my name is, and then I can just concatenate both. So how? Like this, and I say, okay, first name plus, I need to add a space, if not everything will be together. Remember, the only space that matter here is the one between the quotation mark. This I just do, but I could remove it and it would look exactly the same. I'll show you. And then last name. I run this, my name is Charles Johnson. If I remove this space, nothing changed. If I remove this space between the quotation mark, then it does change. Now the name is all together. So that's one way to concatenate text. There is another way to concatenate text that some people prefer. I'll show you how it is. It's not my favorite. I don't see any, like, I don't see it as easier to read. Some people do. So look, it's like that. You just put an F, it's for formatted text, and it allows you to remove all the plus. So you just have to put curly braces. Curly braces, you can remove this, and curly braces. So basically you'll put in curly braces all the variables so they can be included in the text. But you need to put an F before the quotation mark so that Python and print knows, okay, you're going to do this. Okay, cool. So now if I see a curly brace, I know what to do. So look, it's just says this, my name is, I don't need to those quotation mark, no those, because now everything is in the text. So I put here. Cool, like that. So I start a quotation mark, I end the quotation mark, and I put my name is, then one variable, then the other variable. Well, in this specific case, it does look easier to read, right? So I run this, and it says my name is Charles Johnson. I didn't have to open and close quotation mark, I didn't have to put the plus, etc. So this is called formatted strings. So with that, we're already pretty advanced in string, and this video has been pretty long, so I'll stop here. In the next video, we'll look at the methods, the functions we have for strings. We'll look just at some of them. As you know, you'll find all the rest in the documentation, but there's some that might be useful to you, and it's good that you know them. So we're good for today. See you in the next lecture, where we'll see more things about strings.